People, Deluded, I'm back again, out and about. As you know, I'm not trying to be here long, but I was bored in my lunch break and I thought to myself, like, what is the best 11 of players, or Arsenal players obviously, that I've seen at the Emirates? Now, I made this vid before and I'm pretty sure it's not the same lineup. I'll probably change it again. It is quite difficult, and if you lot remember, I asked you lot on Twitter, but yeah, I was sat down kind of thinking about it, and it's difficult, people. So I thought I might as well give it to you, and I'd love to hear your opinions, or who you would have, and whatnot, and what else. But in goal, I think I've seen a lot of people on Twitter when I asked this question said Leno. There is probably could say Leno, but I'm gonna give it Szczesny. Won FA Cup here and whatnot. Not really been great keepers here. I mean, Fabianski had a little purple patch, but on the grand scheme of things, didn't really convince at Arsenal, really, if we're completely honest with ourselves. Neither did Szczesny, to be honest. He didn't really convince. We all know Szczesny's case is well documented, but I'm going to go with Szczesny. At right back, I'm going to go with Sagna. Does what it says on the tin, sort of thing. I mean, if we had Sagna in this side competing with Bellerin, that would be a good option. And Sagna just done his job. It's just, you need some man like that in your squad. Guys that are just consistent, just does what it says on the can. You know you're getting a base level of performance. They're not going to set the world alight and whatnot. But I feel Sagna was a good addition, and obviously we spent well now, but for a while there wasn't really a time when we were signing decent players, and I think he's proven to be one of the best shrewd additions we've made since moving to the Emirates, if we are 100% honest with ourselves. So Sagna, obviously he snaked it and went City, but it is what it is. Sagna's going to go for me at right back. Centre half's a difficult one, man. I can't lie to you. I'm going to go with probably Koscielny. I know Koscielny, I don't really like the way he left. I tried to avoid Koscielny really and truly, but I'm going to go with Koscielny. I'm going to give credit to Mertesacker. Now, Mertesacker was not world class. He wasn't this, he wasn't that. He was slow. On a regular basis, he was picked apart. But I definitely think he was more of an intelligent defender than given credit for. He definitely was a better Arsenal defender than given credit for. And I actually feel, to a degree, he made Koscielny play better. Not that I mean in that Koscielny's not the most vocal. Mertesacker's positioning was on point. He just was somewhat a liability due to his lack of pace, and I feel Mertesacker was alright, really and truly. I want to scream Holding, but I know that's not there in my head. I know Holding did his thing for us in an FA Cup final, so I could really introduce him, but it won't really work. So I'd go with Mertesacker and Koscielny as my partnership. Left back, I've seen a lot of people saying Clichy, and there's nothing wrong with that, but similar to Sagna, I'm going to go with Monreal. I feel Monreal struggled for consistency when he first initially came. I feel he was alright when he first came. He had a little bit of a dark period, and then he was good, and then was kind of poor again. But once he got that consistency, he's been doing his thing, and he was a loyal, consistent member of the side to the very end. Handled himself, including his departure, with dignity. And I feel Monreal did his thing, really and truly. So I think that would be a competent back five I would have, including Szczesny. You've got Szczesny, you've got two competent fullbacks in Monreal and Sagna, in my opinion. I've obviously got Koscielny and Mertesacker. Mertesacker's pace might be exploited, but apart from that, we should be cool. Midfield, I'm going with a three-man midfield. Now, admittedly, people, big games or games where it's not a game for playmaking or playing at a carpet or a nice pitch, will probably get pushed about. But in midfield, I'm going to have to go with this, people. I'm going to go with Santi Cazorla. I haven't seen enough of him in people's best teams in the Emirates. Very underrated player for Arsenal, whether he was playing further forward on the flanks or sort of 10, or later on in his Arsenal career where he became reverted, because he did play at a time at Villarreal under that. Going back into central midfield, I feel he was a real reliable and consistent member of the side, and he was, you look at especially the FA Cup run, a lot of important moments he pulled through. So I'm going to go with Santi Cazorla in the pivot. Again, the way he left, similar to a couple of other players, was disgraceful, but I think I have to go with Santi Cazorla and Cesc Fabregas. In the 10 row, I can't lie, it's a toss-up, people. The third position in midfield is a toss-up between Aaron Ramsey and Mesut Ozil. I think Mesut Ozil deserves his place in there. He's been a good player, the stats don't lie, regardless of if he polarizes his opinion. Ramsey, consistent, loyal serviceman at this club. Come a long way from that 16, 17-year-old lad fresh from Cardiff. He came to Arsenal as a boy and left as a man, and he's going and doing his thing for Juventus now. So it was really difficult to really leave him out, so I've had to put a slash, so it's a toss-up between him and Ozil. Really wanted to include Wilshere, but I don't think he gets in, if I'm honest with you, despite the fact that I have a lot of allegiances to him. Now up front is where it gets a bit political and where I had a lot of issues, man. I did think that I was going to be a bit of a cheater and say, I mean, Henry had a return to Arsenal as a loan player, so I was going to technically include him. I know Adebayor was a pagan. Van Persie, you can't really, despite the fact of how he left, you can't really make a case of excluding him in terms of purely just being strikers at this club. But my up-front options, I'm going to go on the left with Alexis Sanchez. If you've been watching Arsenal, you know what Alexis Sanchez was doing for us. Obviously, I'm happy to see him fail at United because he left and went there. But, are you alright, mate? Yeah, I'll go with Alexis Sanchez. Aubameyang up front. I mean, he's excluding Van Persie. How many top strikers have we had at the Emirates? So I think Aubameyang's earned his place there. You look at how quickly he's reaching through the goal statistics and all these things. It shows how good of a striker, goal scorer specifically, he is really. So I think Aubameyang, Alexis Sanchez, and I might throw a couple of people off, but I'm going to go with Arshavin purely because it's my personal bias, man. At the time, at that period where we weren't really spending money, he was a big money signing to a degree at Arsenal. I really liked Arshavin's style of play, the way he played, and all of these sort of things. So that would be my 11 people. So let me see if I can recap that specifically. It was Szczesny, right back Sagna, left back Monreal, centre halves in Mertesacker and Koscielny, midfield in Mesut Ozil / Ramsey, Santi Cazorla and Cesc Fabregas, up front Aubameyang, Alexis Sanchez and Arshavin. Away from that, people, I did want to mention quickly in regards to a couple of young players. Sam Greenwood continued his goal scoring form for England's under 18s and did his thing in that regards. In regards to under 17s, schoolboy Charlie Pantino, who we signed from Luton, who looks certain to surely get a scholarship. Him and Marco Flores excite me a lot. He was captain in England's under 17 sides. Now that's testament to the fact that he's still a schoolboy and he's captain in the side. So it was nice to see him captain them in the international break. I believe Aziz got minutes off the bench in the recent game for Sam Greenwood. So we're doing all right at youth level, man. I know Balogun's had injury issues. He might have been called up for England. Tyrese John-Jules the same. We've been kind of dealt a short hand with injuries. Obviously, Eddie's found the back of the net at 21s level. We're missing players at first team level for England, but it's nice to see us doing our thing. And just a quick note on them under 17 side that some of our Arsenal players are in. I really think everyone should pay attention to them players within England's under 17 side in particular. They've got Colwill of Chelsea, Dombele of Celtic, Muslera, formerly of Chelsea, now Bayern Munich, several Diallo of West Ham, several good potential players littered around that side, people. So I don't have anything more to add, so I'm going to get out of here. But I just thought I'd mention that. People, on that note, Deluded, I'm out.